is my cool little intro track. I hope you like it. And we are live. It is Sunday afternoon. It is 3 o'clock, and it is the Sunday Hangout with Nico the Dreamer. And this week I'm trying something a little bit different. I've just been struggling with the streaming software that I have. It was dropping all the frames and basically making it unwatchable. The last couple weeks, the last 2 weeks, last week's stream was actually really good. I went into detail, but the video was just not keeping up with what I was trying to show you guys. So it might be something that if you got some time, you could pop it into your earphones and just listen to what I had to say, because I did cover some good stuff. But this week, I'm just going to pre-record it, and then I'll post it, and you can join in. And if I feel like it, maybe I'll do a little Instagram live or something, and we can hang out and do some Ask Me Anything sort of vibes afterwards. I didn't put a post on YouTube or anything this week, so anyway, just check in on my channel. I'm gonna intend on posting something every Sunday, so here I am. Even though my streaming software is giving me fits, I'm gonna record a video and post it. So, having said that, it's Sunday afternoon. Great day to be alive. Another day above ground. Winning streak continues. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I hope you like this cool thumbnail that I created for you guys. I've been playing around with this awesome little app on my phone. It's called Photo Leap, and it's really cool. Just made this, I got a little photo that my roommate took, and then I chopped it up and put cool background on it, a couple effects, and I made this cool little image in like, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and it's cool. I'm also working on a new song, new music track. Got some good sounds for it, and I was gonna put that as the intro this week, but I didn't quite get to it. I'm kind of like straddling the line between like using this Sunday time as inspiration to like finish some tracks and get them across the finish line, but also wanting to give my tracks the time and attention they deserve to be like fully fleshed out and good. So somewhere in there. Anyway, that track that you just heard for the intro is something I made a couple years ago, and I think it's quite cool. Just a little instrumental thing to get us going in the flow. So today's agenda, same thing as before. I'm gonna kind of just let you know what's going on in my mind, and you can take a walk on the wild side with the wild wombat. What's up? We're going to touch on sovereignty. We're going to touch on psychedelics and mysticism. We're going to touch on preparedness, finances, and crypto. I got some tutorial type stuff I want to go over with you guys, which is why I prefer the kind of screen share way of recording at this time instead of like trying to fight against streaming software that is dropping frames on me. So anyway, the exciting part, I mentioned this last week, but I'm just still on it, is we're all excited that they just legalized psychedelics for therapeutic use here in Colorado with this recent election. And that's very exciting. So psilocybin mushrooms, as well as mescaline, but not peyote, as well as DMT, as well as iboga. They're going to start putting a schedule out for these to be for licenses to be issued and for therapeutic treatment centers to start going up, which is wonderful. I've been picking up some advertisements for the Wounded Warrior project on YouTube or whatever. Really cool. A lot of veterans coming home with PTSD and stuff, and traditional pharmaceutical drugs from drug dealers in medical costumes don't work for them, but psychedelic medicines from healers in human costumes seem to do. So anyway, that's awesome, and it's a step in the right direction. And I encourage people to consider all treatment modalities, whatever is best for them. In my opinion, natural, organic, human health with exercise and foods that grow out of the ground with as much natural, organic, vitamin, minerally goodness is the way for me. And I feel awesome and amazing. Never felt better in my whole darn entire life as an adult. I'm getting exercise every day, kicking butt. I set a new personal best picking up heavy weight last week. Picked up a new deadlift PR. Very exciting. I picked 300 pounds off the ground with nothing but my human body. So anyway, that's exciting, and just getting after it, keeping a high vibration, keeping good manifestation, and I do it for you because we share the same electromagnetic, infinite ether matrix reality, whatever you want to call it. It's all together as one. So, yay for that. Okay, enough preamble. Let's hang out. Um, Welcome to my desktop. Where shall we go from here? Okay, I want to show some things. What do we have here? First off, I want to show the common website I go to, paulstramer.net. This is where I recommend for everybody to go to pick up all the first place on the internet to get articles from Audubon rights, news and views you won't find anywhere else. This is all the sovereignty stuff. More idiocy concerning the Confederacy. Which one? Dun, dun, dun. The importance of land and who owns it. Very interesting. The Pope when the current world organizational structure was set up, 3 basic jurisdictions were set up: air, land, and sea, also known as law: land, air, water. Common jurisdictions. Pope controlled the air, Spanish king controlled the land, British king controlled the sea. Very interesting articles. Excess death, another filthy euphemism. They're saying it instead of saying the more correct thing is that people are dying because they've been poisoned. My opinion. Anyway, I just want to show this website, paulstramer.net. It's where one of the first websites I go to when I open up the internet. I'm going to pull up some of my material. I have some links from last week. These are some links, stuff that I wanted to show last week. I'll show them now. Sovereign debt collapse, these sort of things. In my experience, just Audubon rights is so darn good. She's been doing this work for 30 years, since the 90s. She ran into an issue with the IRS and started picking at the rabbit hole and pulling on that thread, and the whole darn thing came apart, and we found out that it's just basically fraud. And I'll let each of you kind of read these things for yourself. I'm going to try and make these files available so that you can get them each week and maybe zip it up and host it online and get a link to it so that everybody can have access to these things. Anyway, the other website I want to show is the AmericanStatesAssembly.net, also which redirects you here to tasa.americanstatenationals.org. And this is the landing page for the American State Assembly, restoring the constitutional republic. Peace has been declared in America. International Peace Proclamation. All hostilities related to the American Civil War, being an illegal mercenary conflict, have come to a conclusion. Your government is supposed to be staffed by you, decisions supposed to be made by you, etc., etc. This is why governments exist. But what if they don't protect you, etc., etc.? I strongly suggest everybody read this information and take it seriously. Correcting your status. We've been mislabeled as U.S. corporate citizens when really we should be American state citizens or American nationals. And streamlined process. The long-awaited one-page declaration. With one page, witnessed by 2 people who know you, you can correct your status so that you won't be improperly presumed upon by U.S. corporate citizens and held subject to statutes, codes, and regulations that don't apply to you, and have your constitutional rights protected and restored. Chart your course. All of these transitioning your business from public to private, insurance, passport, fee schedule, why should I correct my status, declaration of political status. All of these things and answers are here for you. Super important. This is not about some sovereign citizen thing. If you're paying attention, you should know that sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You cannot be sovereign and a citizen at the same time, because sovereign implies that you are the highest power in the land, highest power over yourself, self-governance. Whereas citizen indicates that you are in a subordinate position and you have pledged loyalty to some sort of organization. So American nationals are sovereigns. American state citizens have chosen to serve their state of the union as part of the constitutional republic, etc., etc. There is so much to learn about here, and it can be overwhelming for a lot of people starting off. But this is our only way home, and it's our only way forward. And as the U.S. corporate juggernaut continues to crumble and Babylon is falling, basically we're coming to a point where everyone's going to have to make this decision, and correcting your status is the best way to make sure that you're not caught up in the rubble of the Tower of Babel falling, etc., etc. I think this is really important, and I encourage everybody to take it seriously. So, having said that, also maybe let's go over to Rumble. I've been getting a lot of I've been enjoying Rumble, not censored, and I get a lot of good information here. And if I scroll on down, the States Assembly webinar is posted here each week, if I can find it. Or maybe it's on BitChute, actually. So besides posting on YouTube, I rotate between Rumble, BitChute, and Brighteon to find the views and opinions that I find relevant. Here it is. The American States Assembly, TASA, full webinar here. Great learning opportunity. And if we go back to theamericanstatesassembly.net, you can click here on webinars. And not only does it give you the link every Monday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, but it also has the full archive of all of the webinars going all the way back. You can see we've been at it for quite some time, and it's a really great learning modality. Every time I tune into the webinar, I learn something new. It's amazing, awesome. So that's that. Oh, this was funny. Let's see if we can pull this up from last week. Here we have a link. Do masks work? The review of over 150 studies show that they don't. Anybody thinking that they work? Anyway, I just saved these little links and clips and stuff for people that people are so stubborn. They say, prove it to me. What the science, peer-reviewed studies and whatnot. So I've got folders just full of that stuff. Anyway, this one is funny. I was going to save this for the end, but I'm going to pull it up now just because it's awesome. Well, he rugged himself. Well, anyway, that's that. I guess that's a reasonable time for me to pop over to my Telegram. Telegram I've been using a whole lot more lately, and it's where I keep up on uncensored news and stuff. Follow the White Rabbit. David Avocado Wolf is one of my favorite Telegram feeds. Here's China, but 2022. Awesome products, awesome stuff, great memes, the whole thing. And I got these things here, all sorts of good stuff. And if you wish to get the full power, dosage, check out Nico the Dreamer. Click, click. Is my computer chugging now that I'm recording? Is any of this going to be possible? They lied about these things, but now they're telling the truth? I don't think so. Reject digital currency. Well. Well, I hope you get that one. Yeah, recently retired head of development. We couldn't wait for data, so we had too much at risk, so we flew the airplane while we were still building it. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Anyway, I won't go too far on my own stream because that's where I touch a lot of the things that probably don't want to be, that YouTube would be unhappy about me sharing. Um, but that's where to get the full power dosage. And yep. So I'll pull open my memes for the week. Star wipe. And because I'm not streaming this week, I don't have my star wipe and all that. I want to use the cool app and do all my cool things and have splash pages and landing pages and like cool graphics and stuff. But my computer's just chugging too much and not getting there. So this is what it is. Okay, memes for the week. This is fun. Mark Twain, the truth has no defense against a fool determined to believe a lie. Yes, I relate to that in the current context. Last couple of years have been tough for people who think, oh man, we have just in the mainstream world, we got no one to talk to. What's up? Can't have conversations with normies anymore. I don't even, yes, weather. I like weather. Cool. Have a nice day. Anyway, socialism ideas so good that they have to be mandatory. Yep. These people don't see that if you encourage totalitarian methods, the time may come when they will be used against you instead of for you. Duh. Complicity theorist, a person who accepts the political narrative of the day unquestionably, consumes mainstream media like it was 1980, and is prone to submissiveness, outbursts of irrational fear, and public shaming of free thinkers. Yeah, those complicity theorists are a dangerous breed. Reclaim your mind and get it out of the hands of the cultural engineers who want to turn you into a half-baked moron consuming all this trash that's being manufactured out of the bones of a dying world. Terence McKenna. Awesome. I wish I had the Terence McKenna voice. If you've ever listened to his voice, he's just, yeah. A weed is a plant that has mastered every survival skill except for learning how to grow in rows. Be a weed. When you microdose at your office job. How to pretend to be indoctrinated enough to fit in with mainstream society. Yeah, no, I don't do that. It's a funny meme, but I don't pretend. Fuck fitting in with mainstream society. Fuck that shit, the whole thing. Nope, I don't pretend to be indoctrinated at all. It's all bullshit, and I won't stand for it for one moment. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment, and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Once again, Terence McKenna is awesome. This is a 1969 battery-powered VHF transmitter that can send a signal 50 miles at best on a good day, but it was supposed to be pumping out 10 frames a second of color video, plus a perfect two-way communication 238,000 miles away through the Van Allen belts. Yeah, I don't believe at all what those space agencies, they're a money laundering operation as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, we can go deeper down that rabbit hole when the time is right. Yeah, we've been very clearly deceived about the nature and shape of reality. I'll leave it there. This is cool. Just cool. Sacred geometry, toroidal field, Merkaba. That's, I think, much closer to giving us the truth about the nature and shape of reality. So it's real nice that slide came after the previous one. Happy people who are thankful, not happy people who are thankful. It is thankful people who are happy. Thank goodness for goodness. Let's go. Hey, look at that. One more brick in the wall. Break on through to the other side. Let's go. No, gentrification. No, that's white flight. Bodies of water have flat surfaces. I'm way too smart to fall for some psyop. Yeah. Yep. Okay. If a spinning pile of dust and rocks gets big enough, it will pull you towards it. Isaac Newton. Well. Resist much, obey little. Walt freaking Whitman, leaves will grass my ass. Dawn is coming and it will be glorious. Yes, indeed it will. Hold on strong, my friends, my family. The best is yet to come, and we are just kicking so much ass along the way. Love and compassion, gentle and kind and true. Do your best, do no harm. Let's see what happens. Let's go. No, sweetie pie, we didn't kill the turkey. It committed suicide. Yup. When you delete all your real life friends and replace them with internet shit posters whom you've never met, and this is the happiest I've ever been. Yeah, truth. Yep. Never argue with someone whose TV is bigger than their bookshelf. Yep, good advice. Never argue with someone who watches TV. I'm so glad to not have a TV. I intend to never own a television ever again. Internet is enough, and at least I can choose my channel, relatively speaking. Yep. Simple act of an ordinary, courageous man is not to take part, not to support lies. Let that come into the world and even reign over it, but not through me. Writers and artists can do more. They can vanquish lies. Lies can stand up against much in the world, but not against art. Very nice. Perfect gift for that someone who wears a mask alone in the car. The all-new portable seatbelt. Yay. Oh, man. Comedy value of the last 2 years has just been through the roof. It's so good. And the Darwin Awards are more competitive than ever. The government cares about my teeth starter kit. Sodium fluoride. So good that they'll put it in your water, but if you have a pea-sized amount of it in your toothpaste, you're supposed to call poison control. And then you all honked and I was scared. Oh, lol. Yeah, angry white man. There's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. Yeah, weird. I like being a loving and kind white man. I feel like a lot of opportunity to help. It's kind of like when I traveled in Europe, I had the opportunity to uh, dispel people of their notions about Americans being like loud and obnoxious and awful to some degree, despite the fact that there are a lot of loud and obnoxious Americans. So, again, despite the fact that there are a fair amount of angry white men in America, whatever, the fact that I'm not one, not angry at all, gives us an opportunity to dispel some of these narratives. So, anyway, love all my people. We're awesome. Let's go. He who jumps into the void owes no explanation to those who stand and watch. I really like this one. This one's awesome. Go for it, and zero fucks given what other people think. Do your thing. Live your life. You owe no explanation to anyone. But you do have to face yourself in the mirror and connect with the Most High. So do your thing and use an appropriate amount of care. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Yep, I know why the caged bird sings. Darling, don't you remember you're a badass? Keep winging it. Yep. This is a good one. Embedding the psychological tendency to latch onto and defend the first bit of information with which we are presented. When I was first presented with the notion that we've been misled about the nature and shape of our reality, fortunately, I said, hey, that's interesting. This person has given me a shit ton of really good information about other topics. And now he's saying something that is really out there, but I'm gonna put a note to do more research on it when I get a chance. And then I came home and I did more research on it, and I said, hey, that guy made some really good points, and I think he might actually be correct. So anyway, being able to self-analyze and reconsider positions that we've held since we were a small child is a very, very powerful personality trait. Train in motion, 25 miles an hour. Earth in motion, 1,040 miles an hour. I don't always visit islands where hundreds of things did it, but when I do, I go 37 times. Yeah. What are they hiding at the South Pole? Yeah. No, I'm more interested in going to the North Pole. We're gonna go have a party at Mount Meru and Om until we teleport to the North Star. Let's go. Yesterday we noticed you criticized the government. Da, 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 da. Hey, this one's cool. Morpheus, which one you gonna choose? Don't be a prisoner to the past, be an architect of the future. Hey, what are you thankful for? I'm thankful for vegans. I like animals and I like them better when they're alive, and I like to contribute to them being alive. Don't prefer the taste of death. Most light workers, only love and light cannot change my mind. Yep. No, there is most seriously a satanic agenda at play in the mainstream world. And if you read the symbolism and you look at it, it's staring right in your face. However, love and light is the only solution to that. So we gotta be just full power about our love and light while at the same time being direct and focused on the evils of the world and how to transcend them. Anyway, don't make yourself small for anyone. Be the awkward, funny, intelligent, beautiful little weirdo that you are. Don't hold back. Weird it out. Let's go. Quit squaring up the circle, narc. Get in the car, loser. What does a government do when it has disarmed its citizens? Any darn thing it wants. When you misread the Shilajit dosage and take 250 grams instead of milligrams. Yep, I know that feeling. That's like, yeah, same thing could be said for LSD. 250 grams instead of milligrams. Yeah, I've definitely felt that before. Everything done by authorities during what they claimed was a pandemic was allegedly for one purpose, to prevent deaths that would not otherwise not have occurred. Excess deaths are higher now. There's that euphemism, excess deaths, in most places than at any point during their crisis, and they're not interested. If that doesn't at least lead you to question the mainstream narrative, I don't know if you'll ever recover your capacity for rational thought. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the point, like, we're at the point now where, like, if you don't get it, you're in big trouble. Because you've probably already taken actions that are irreversible and perhaps fatal. So, good luck with that. Always a fun one. Gonna glaze the turkey with LSD this year, then we will see who has their shit together. And speaking of those irreversible actions, I do believe in detox. I do believe in the power of prayer. I don't think anything is set in stone. So, you know, I'm with you and I'm praying for you. But I do know that I had no interest in any of that narrative. You know what I'm talking about. Not everyone is pretending on social media. Some of us are really solid. Fuck yeah. What's up? Full power. Let's go. Arf. Woof. If you feel that there should not be any violence, show nonviolence in your life. Yup. I love peace so much. It means so much to me, and I love to give it to others. You know, when I hear people that are discontent and they're trying to, you know, cause stress, and I can see them bristling up, and I can see that that's how they carry their energy. It makes me very pleased to be able to take a couple deep breaths and show them some compassion and watch them calm down and watch that peace enter into their life through me. What a beautiful experience. Yeah, pretty sure children seeing this every day won't have any effect on them later. Yeah, it's terrible. People hate the truth for the sake of whatever it is they love more than the truth. They love truth when it shines warmly on them and hate it when it rebukes them. Yeah. Yep. Rather have the hard truth than the soft lies. We cannot force someone to hear a message they are not ready to receive, but we must never underestimate the power of planting a seed. Yep. So I'm gonna keep at it for those people who just haven't gotten it yet. I mean, way behind the eight ball, but I'll never give up on you. I'll always keep trying. There are boundaries and stuff. It's called stuffing, butthole bread. We pay the doctor to make us better when we should really be paying the farmer to keep us healthy. Rethink healthcare. Yep. Healing is a feeling. Yep. Greatest teacher will send you back to yourself. Yep. Go woke, go broke. First Thanksgiving after all your conspiracies came true and you spot the one cousin that always believed in you. Yeah. Yep, I was not I was not welcome at my biofam Thanksgiving this year because I didn't do the thing, which is fine with me. I would have been the Pepe at the table. It is what it is. I'm as happy to not be exposed to them as they are to not be exposed to me. Um, love you all, but it is what it is. This is them all fluffing up Sam Bankman-Fried. They're like, oh, he's a philanthropist, humanitarian. Really, he's just a guy who stole billions of dollars from normal people and gave it to the political class, laundered it. Fight the system by making it bigger. Yeah, NPC Bernie. Sure, good idea. I like this one. This one's awesome. Science, first step, fuck around. Second step, find out. If only it were so simple. Um, Yeah, no, I mean, science has become so politicized. Like, I love science very much. I love the truth, and it's important to find the truth. Spirit Science is one of the best YouTube channels that there is. So awesome. Uh, you know, and I think sacred geometry is science that the geometry of consciousness, of thought, mysticism, esotericism. There is deep, important science of consciousness, etc., that goes way beyond scientific rational materialism. Um, that it is just as valid of a form of science, as it goes to places where objective or objective scientific materialism cannot. And I think people just it's a tragedy how science has been propagandized and mislabeled. Um, but it is what it is. Yep. Yep. Pot calling the kettle black on that one. They lied about all these things, but now they're telling the truth. Here's some science. New long-term, large-scale Iowa field experiment combining crop diversity with lower herbicides and non-GMO crops may reduce the need for nitrogen fertilizers, maintained or improved weed control and yields, and improved farmer profits. Ditch the GMOs. Yep. A guy asked to borrow $10, so I said sure, and I reached in my pocket and handed him air. He got mad, so I said, I thought you believed I could give you something I don't have. That's how I feel about not being welcome at my Thanksgiving table. I'm healthier and happier than ever, so good luck with that. Meanwhile, my pop, who got the thing 4 times, 5 times, uh, got sick and also wasn't welcome at the Thanksgiving table for the exact opposite reason. I didn't take the thing, healthier than ever. He took the thing and got sick. So, when life is sweet, thank you and say thank you and celebrate. When it's bitter, say thank you and grow. Yep, you never truly lose in life. You either win or you learn. Quantum physics tells us that nothing that is observed is unaffected by the observer. That statement from science holds an enormous and powerful insight. It means that everyone sees a different truth because everyone is creating what they see. Yep. Things are way more malleable than they appear. Zip ties so you can fuck with people who park like assholes. Yeah. Trust the science? Nah, we didn't know. The world if everyone took a breath before responding to their trigger. I got a lot of memes this week. This is kind of interesting. One pilgrim wears Make America Great Someday hat. Yeah, NPC army. We see the politician and not his banker, still less the backer of the backer, or what is most important, the banker of the backer. J.R.R. Tolkien. Just don't do it. This is in regard to that one thing. Do you know why those things murder? Yep. Yep. Only one doesn't match. It's the psyop. This is just really interesting. I mean, there's all these different cultures with this same model, and when you actually look at all the histories, there's compelling evidence that and this of course is the firmament model that's described in the Bible with the magnetic mountain at the center here, the Babylonian with the pyramid up and the pyramid down, and the levels of consciousness and et cetera, et cetera. Definitely worth a thought. every culture and civilization in the history of humanity besides the current one with all of its, you know, uh, narratives going on, then perhaps every culture in the history of humanity except for ours has a point. I'll leave it there. Maybe it's not every culture, but I mean, here you go. There's compelling evidence. Dig into those 40 or 45 cultures right there and tell me why each of them is wrong. Are you a robot? Lol, very funny. All experience is a drug experience, whether it's mediated by our own endogenous drugs or by substances we ingest. It's all a chemically mediated process. Life itself is a drug experience. Absolutely correct. You know, people say that, oh, I don't do drugs, but coffee, sugar, fluoride in the tap water, etc., oxygen. You can get, you breathe enough oxygen, see how you feel. You can get high as you choose off of oxygen. So it's really about the alchemy of mediating your own consciousness, etc. Sense of humor. Hold your shit together when life is a motherfucker. Look at these interesting flying things. Pretty cool. Anyway. Yep. Very cool. Aww. Presidents known by their initials. Yep. Yep. Bought my daughter's very first rape whistle. Yep. Study finds that hearing an opposing viewpoint causes no real harm. Now that's science. Misconception that Buddhism is a religion and that you worship Buddha. Buddhism is a practice like yoga. You can be Christian and practice Buddhism. I met a Catholic priest who lives in a Buddhist monastery in France. He told me that Buddhism makes him a better Christian. I love that. Yeah, me too. I hope the germs don't kill me. Yeah, it's all about toxicity, terrain theory. You don't lose anyone who's really for you by being real, and you don't gain anyone who's really for you by being fake. So you might as well just be yourself and find out who's who. Yep, Nomad Soul. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And those are memes for the week. That was a little bit drawn out, but some good ones in there. I hope you enjoyed. And it's a fun part for me. This is kind of colors my thinking, a lot of this sort of stuff. A lot of these memes come from the David Avocado Wolf page on Telegram, one of my absolute favorites. David Wolf's page, The Best Day Ever, or his, I mean, that's his thing. The Best Day Ever is awesome, and I love it. And anyway, you know, I'm through the looking glass with it. I've had enough mystical, transcendent, psychedelic, meditative experiences to realize that it's all just consciousness, electromagnetism, spirit science. Has everybody seen the Spirit Science YouTube channel? It's a really good place to go to learn about sacred geometry and about kind of ancient history. I mean, there's so many good places to go anymore, but the Spirit Science is a really good page. This Waters Above channel is very good. Guy does gematria on crypto and so forth. Really helped me kind of nail some good trades for this eclipse season, October 25th and November 8th, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the Spirit Science is awesome. He does these cool little animations on everything, but goes over the pattern of creation, the flower of life, and it's all animated. It's very easy to watch. Tree of Life, Patch Tarot, Spirit Science movies. Very, very good. If you haven't seen the Spirit Science stuff, this is a good place to be. Dun 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 dun. And that was memes. So let's see. We've covered some psychedelic stuff. We covered some sovereignty stuff. I'm gonna go into some crypto stuff. So anyway, where I'm at right now is I'm just gonna go over my YouTube a little bit and kind of show you some of the stuff I watch. Besides like basketball highlights. Jim Rat Crypto does crypto in the morning every morning at 9 o'clock. Very nice. Dollar Cost Crypto is very nice. Miguel over here. They do this crypto mindset course you can actually sign up for, and they teach crypto like full intensive. Very good, like for learning crypto fundamentals and stuff. Going back and watching some of these streams are really good. Richard Hart streams. There's a lot of really good. You can just learn from Richard Hart. He just talks about crypto and gives the perspective that you might not get elsewhere. Whales Only here, really good hex crypto stream. Been watching these Greg Manarino pages. He's more like talking about the traditional market, but he's basically clued me into this idea that the debt market is going crazy. I'm going to show you on the on TradingView here, and that the debt market is the key to the whole darn thing. So as we watch the debt market and we watch the S&P 500, we can get a read on where the other markets are going and kind of pinpoint good buy and sell zones. I'm going to pull up Trading View here in a moment, and we'll get into some charts, and then I'll show you what I wanted to show you as far as some tutorials this week. Road to Root is very good. This is kind of where I got started on a lot of my trading stuff, talking about theta, talking about silver in particular. Bix Weir here was like in the precious metals industry for 25 years or whatever, and then realized that it was all being rigged on the commodities exchange, on the COMEX, and has, just been, dropping a lot of good information about that. Of course, I don't take it only from one source. Like just research a little bit about physical silver, and you will hear people saying that it is artificially suppressed, and that when it blows, it's likely to go sky high. So like everything that I listen to as far as financial learning and education stuff, I confirm it. You always want to look at the bull case and the bear case. You always want to look at where is this person coming from? Are they coming from the traditional market? Are they coming from a new class of investor? And in particular, if we're talking about crypto, cryptocurrencies are popular because people realize the need to get out of the traditional banking system. They realize that the Federal Reserve note is likely to go to zero. It's being printed like there's no tomorrow, and it's not truly backed by any meaningful assets. The Federal Reserve prints it infinitely. They give themselves and their commercial banker buddies first cut at it and enrich themselves. And then, the American people take out loans at interest and basically get the scraps and the debt. And people realize that, and that's what crypto is about. So the interesting thing about crypto, and if you listen to like dollar cost crypto and stuff like that, you're seeing this new class of investors, these 20, 30 somethings who realize the game is rigged, and they started buying Bitcoin in the early, 2010s, or Ethereum or whatever. And, there's this massive wealth transfer that's going on. And then you got this other class of people, the Peter Schiffs, the gold bugs of the world, or the Eric Wall is a big hater of hex, whatever. Um, People trying to claw it back into control of the mainstream financial organizations, which we've seen a lot with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has gotten so much institutional money into it, and they're trying to put an ETF out and stuff like that. It actually is counter to the principles of crypto, and so um, instead of decoupling from traditional markets, because Bitcoin has been so tied in with institutional money, it has tracked the traditional markets. So, Bitcoin basically, when the stock markets goes down, when the S&P goes down, we see Bitcoin go down as well, which is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be basically like traditional assets go down, and that money flees the traditional markets into crypto, because crypto is something that's safe, that you can hold your own keys to and no one can take it, that sort of thing. So we haven't seen that yet, but I think we will see it at one point, and when we do see it, it's likely to be a very big deal. Basically, if banks, through social credit or digital dollar or whatever, come to a point where they start freezing people's assets, and you can't get your money out of your bank, people are going to go wild. They're not going to know where to put their money. So they're going to go into precious metals, because that's something you can hold in your own hands, not SLV, not paper traded silver certificates or whatever, but actual physical precious metals. Just to be clear, physical silver in your own possession is, in my mind, a pretty good investment. Silver SLV being traded on the rigged commodities exchange is seems like throwing your money away to me. Similar thing with cryptos, like solid cryptos in your own possession, in your own wallet, in your own custody, seems like a good idea to me. But keeping a shit ton of FTT, the token for FTX, that here, let's look at that chart real quick. Let's check out a fun chart. This is TradingView, by the way. If you've never seen TradingView, this is it. Let's look at it on KuCoin. Hey, look at that. That was a good looking chart. So yeah, this was the FTX thing. This is a 1 week candle. It went from a high of 23.9 all the way down to 1.35. Let's see what that is on the that is 94% down in 1 week. 94% down in 1 week. So that's what happens when you play around on a rigged centralized exchange, a CEX exchange. Funny. Versus a DEX, a decentralized exchange, like Uniswap or whatever. Anyway, we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart. But anyway, the point that I was making is that at some point crypto will decorrelate from the mainstream markets when, if the commercial central banks start to shut down, or if the people start having their funds frozen, they're gonna panic and get out of it. They're gonna get into physical assets as much as they can, even if it's stuff like guns and butter, or they're gonna go into digital assets, and they're gonna basically be looking for safe havens. So at that point, I think we're likely to see some decorrelation from the crypto markets and the mainstream markets. Now the question is, which is the best choice of assets? What's going to have the best yield? If you're going to get into crypto, where's the place to be? So I'll show you the way that I think about it. So basically, I'll pull up CoinGecko. Always take these ranking sites with a grain of salt. They are political. They do take money to list things, and they have advertising and stuff like this. But it's a good place to just get an overview of the market. So for instance, here we have Bitcoin market cap $318 billion. At the height of the bull run, Bitcoin briefly passed over $1 trillion. So we see it's down 75% from its high. Then we see Ethereum number 2 at 146 billion. So it's a little less than half of Bitcoin's market cap. So these are the big 1, 2 in crypto. And then you see Tether, which is a US stablecoin. So it's always going to have a price of $1 at 65 billion. So it's about a third, roughly, maybe 40% of Ethereum's market cap, and maybe 15% of Bitcoin's market cap. Then we have BNB, which is a Ethereum EVM based chain, and is the coin of Binance, which is the centralized exchange. But BNB is a blockchain, so this is a decentralized chain, and this is the token that you pay gas on and whatnot. I can pull up PancakeSwap here in a moment and show you how to trade on BNB if you like. I guess that's not exactly what I had in mind, but maybe we can. Anyway, BNB, $50 billion market cap, so about a third the size of Ethereum. And then you just kind of run down on here, and you can see some other ones that people know, XRP, Ripple, Dogecoin, which is a Litecoin fork, by the way, Polygon, which is a layer 2 of Ethereum, Cardano, which doesn't do anything yet, but people think someday it will, etc., 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 all the way on down. So anyway, the way I think about the market is we have Bitcoin clearly much bigger than everything else. So it moves the market. It's when Bitcoin moves, everything else kind of follows. So we see that we've been on this downtrend since November of last year. So we've hit about a 1 year downtrend. We can look all the way back here, and we see despite this downtrend at 15,000, over the course of the last 10 years, Bitcoin has been one of the most solidly producing assets in the history of humankind. Here's November 2012. It was trading at $11. So it went from $11 to 16,500 at its current price and 69,000 at its high. So this is one of the best performing assets in human history, and this is why crypto is important. And we also see that it's a downtrend. We see in previous years, this downtrend here was from the high to the low was about 616 days, so just shy of 2 years. This one here, from the high to the low here, was about 406 days, and then it did a lower high, and then there was the COVID, the thing dump, and that was about 812 days. So right here we're at about 1 year, so 300 and something days, and we can just kind of see if it follows its previous pattern, it can hit one of these support lines, and we may see it come up again. We may, but it's not certain, because Bitcoin is already 11 years old and has already experienced a lot of growth. There's speculation that it might be somewhat top heavy, and that even if it does experience gains, they're not going to be quite the same level of gains as what we've had before. The main thing that I think is tempering people's expectations about the market right now is that all of these gains that we've seen here basically came after the 2008 recession or whatever, when the money printer was on, and it was so the money was flowing, and it was kind of a risk-on environment. So we saw a lot of gains, whereas right now the Fed is raising rates, and we are seeing the money flow slow up. So that's why we're seeing things go down. We've never really seen this type of macro environment in the history of crypto. So people are really, there's a lot of speculation about what's going to happen. So the charts that I look at to kind of get an idea on what the overall is going on is this US 10-year chart, first and foremost. And this is something I've been picking up off of listening to the Greg Manarino channel on YouTube. Go ahead and, oops. Go ahead and hide the trend line there. So basically what we're seeing here is we're seeing this trend line here in the rates that was going since 1981 has been broken in recent months, and we're on the monthly chart here. And so what we've been seeing is the rates on these 10-year bonds has gone way up, basically indicating that people are selling them off. And when they sell the bonds, the rates raise in order to attract more people to buy the bonds. But so basically people are, I guess, fleeing from these long-term bonds. And what we've actually seen is an inverted yield curve in which the shorter-term bonds are actually giving better rates than the longer-term bonds, which is indicating that people are losing confidence in the market, or people are wanting to get out of the market. At the same time, we're seeing the S&P 500, after hitting its top in December of last year, on a downtrend. And if we look at it on the weekly chart, here we have some Fibonacci retracement targets and stuff like that. But let's see if I can hide this. Well, we're on a clear downtrend, and kind of looking at some targets for where it could hit some previous resistances, things like here, or possibly here, or maybe here. So these are levels that we could see the S&P hit. But as long as it's part of this downtrend, we have to imagine that there's some level of bearish sentiment, because as I mentioned, Bitcoin kind of follows the traditional market. So the main things I'm watching are the 10-year yield, and the S&P 500. If it reverses trend, for instance, with a higher high here, then we might have some reason to be bullish about the mainstream markets. Same thing with the 10-year yield. In recent weeks, we've seen it from going way up. About that's like 12 or 13 weeks in a row of straight up, and it hit this high of 4.28%, which was a level it hadn't hit in 40 plus years, something like that, or 20 some years. Let's see. I'm kind of covering a lot pretty quickly, so like forgive me if I'm like jumping around and things like this. I just want to share with people how I'm looking at. All right, so the levels it hit recently were levels that it had not hit since 2007. So 15 years, and this trend line that it broke is the trend line going back to 1981. So we can definitely see that something a little bit unprecedented or unusual has been going on in the markets. Now we have seen the yields come down in recent weeks. 4 out of the last 5 weeks have been red as it's coming back down. So now the real question is it going to come back down towards this 50 week moving average, or is it going to bounce off this 21 week moving average and go up again? If we see it up in this area in the coming months, or excuse me, coming weeks, we're likely to see the market take a shit. So. And with the Fed raising rates, let's see if we have the federal funds rate. Fed funds rate, you can see it's been straight up all this year. They've been raising rates. If they continue to raise rates, which they have a meeting next week, we will likely to see S&P go down and to see basically risk-on assets, including crypto, go down as well. So despite the fact that we're already down quite a bit in crypto, we could see it go down even further if these trends continue. Another thing to watch is the DXY, the dollar currency. We saw it go way up here back towards the end of September, and now as the bond, the 10-year yields have come down, we've also seen the DXY come down again. We've seen the dollar be very strong compared to other currencies. In fact, we saw the British pound. This hit an all-time low back in September, almost at parity with the U.S. dollar. And for people who are, who've been paying attention for long enough to have the British pound at almost parity with the dollar is an all-time low for it. Here we see back to 1985, it hit a low of $1.05. But in the history of the British pound, look, it's at an all-time low. So, as the way to think about this, and Anna von Reitz wrote an article about this last week, saying that a strong dollar sounds like a good thing for America, but it's actually not, because it's basically destroying the world economy in the process, and it doesn't make up for the fact that the U.S. dollar is still basically printed to infinity. And so despite the fact that it is becoming strong relative to other currencies, its purchasing power is still going down, which is not what we want to see. Your dollar buys less than it did last year, and inflation continues to rise. And if you have the skepticism of mainstream statistics the way that I do, you can almost guarantee that they're cooking the books pretty heavily as far as inflation goes, these sort of things. So we're at a place where the macro is looking like something wants to break. So despite the fact that I have taken some positions in the market, and I'll tell you about the coins that I like and how I'm approaching this market, I definitely am keeping some dry powder on the sidelines for more buying opportunities, these sort of things. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about what I'm seeing here. And I can go a little bit more into my overall kind of investment strategy or thesis, and just kind of talk about what crypto is and how I'm thinking about approaching it. So, and this is in a year and a half of investing. I can tell you that I've learned a shit ton, and I have not made a shit ton of money, which it is what it is. it's just one of these things that people tend to learn about this and get drawn into the market at times when the market is high, because people are saying, "Oh my God, crypto's going crazy!" Like, you want to get in, you don't want to FOMO, or people do FOMO, and they say, "Oh, I don't want to miss out on this move." Da da da. Da. And then they end up buying a top and losing a lot of money. So I got into crypto basically right around here, right around March, April 2021, when people were saying Bitcoin was going to 100K. Obviously, it didn't. It came down. We saw last summer, it spent a lot of time down. And when it was down here, people were talking about it going down here, and I missed a buying opportunity, and then it ran up. Boom, boom, boom. People got leveraged up. This is where people were taking out leverage on Luna and Celsius and some of these things, which now have collapsed, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and now we've seen this big downtrend. But it does appear that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is there are certain levels that it's unlikely to go below, and these are all possibilities. These little yellow areas are areas of high volume where price is likely to want to come back to. These trend lines here offer ideas of where it could bounce. And this over here is a volume, what's it called? Fixed range volume profile. And so it shows where all the volume is at. So the places where there was high volume on the way up, where people were going long and they were buying Bitcoin, are places where money can be made to the downside by people shorting to take that volume back. So, ranges where it passes through on its way up are places that it could return to, and here we kind of see that. This red line here is kind of the point of control for this fixed range volume profile, which indicates that, this is, you see the high volume in these lower areas. That's showing that, that's indicating that it's likely to be a price floor, where people are going to be unlikely to want to sell out of their positions that low. They're going to say, nope, screw it, I'm holding on, I'm going down with the ship, whatever, whatever. Versus these lower volume areas are places where the price can move through quite quickly. And in fact, you see here, this big vector candle with high volume happens in this area. Well, high amount of selling. There was low volume in that area, so it could move through that price zone quite quickly. So having said that, I can go into kind of how I see the market, what I see is good or bad, etc. But basically, what I'm looking at right now is things that kind of adhere to first principles of crypto. We saw FTX just collapse a couple weeks ago, and people lost all their money because they had it parked on a centralized exchange, sitting in the exchange's wallet, and then when they pulled up the stakes on the tent and disappeared in a puff of smoke, people said, "Wait a minute, I want to withdraw all my crypto," and then they went to log into FTX, and it said withdrawals have been suspended, da, 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 and people didn't get their money out, and they lost their money. And so, the narrative right now, a lot of people are getting keen to the fact that not your keys, not your coins, which is, in my mind, the first rule of crypto: not your keys, not your coins. So any money that is left on a centralized exchange, whether it be Coinbase or Kraken or FTX or Binance, whatever, you can consider it to not be yours. I had an issue with Binance last year when I had some money on there, where they locked my account for a couple days, and I had money in there, and I said, "Hey, I want my money." And fortunately, I was able to kind of go back and forth with customer support and kind of prove, who I was or whatever, and withdraw my stuff. But that was enough of a wake up call for me to be like, hey, fuck these centralized exchanges. So the alternative is decentralized, which is to keep your keys to yourself. And so the decentralized option that is most commonly used is this little fox icon up here, MetaMask. You see there's some other wallets here, XDeFi, Rabby here. Here I've got the Binance wallet for Binance BNB tokens, the Kepler wallet for tokens from the Atom ecosystem, Cosmos, which is interoperable chains, different blockchains, etc. I got the Petra wallet. This is for this new chain Aptos, which doesn't actually look very good, but I was messing around with a week or so ago. So having the keys to your own coins and being able to do things in a truly decentralized fashion where nobody else can stop you from being able to withdraw your funds or access to them is incredibly important, and it's becoming people are becoming more aware of that at the moment. So what I wanted to share is a little bit of a tutorial on decentralized finance, basically managing your own funds yourself from within your own wallet, where you have your own keys and some centralized entity does not control your ability to access your things. So having said that, I'm going to open up my MetaMask, put in my password, and open up my streaming wallet here. So quick tour of MetaMask. Click the assets here. It's going to show what I have. Here I have 0.002 ETH. I got $2 in there. I'm on the Optimism chain. Here I have the Ethereum chain. I have some other chains, some test nets, Avalanche testnet. Arbitrum is a Ethereum layer 2 chain. I have a couple Ethereum Fair and ETHW. These are Ethereum forks. But basically, these chains are all operating off the Ethereum virtual machine, so they're going to have certain things in common. And they kind of work like this. So what I want to do is I want to share this website that I've been messing around with lately. This is layer 3. It's in beta, so the URL is beta.layer3.xyz. Here I am logged in. This is my wallet address, level 0. And this is a really cool website for learning how to interact with DeFi and use Web3. So any of those chains I showed you, they all do basically the same functions. You can transfer coins, you can interact with decentralized applications, etc. And this website I found is really nice for kind of learning that sort of stuff. It's got these different bounties and stuff. You can gain experience and you can get rewards and so forth. So here we are, new to Web3, start here. Hey, start with these introductory quests. Wonderful. Magic starts here. Click. Connect social profiles. I don't really want to do all that right now. Let's pick a different one. Beyond Ethereum, let's get started on Polygon. Click. Switch to Polygon Network. Opens my MetaMask. It's going to ask me to switch network. Switch over to Polygon. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. So I'll click a different one. Same idea. Make a stablecoin swap on Curve or Uniswap on Polygon. So let's click here. It's going to take me to polygon.curve. And it's going to say, hey, would you like to connect to this website? And you want to be careful about which websites you connect to. But I've been to this website a number of times. Curve is a popular protocol. So I'm going to say yes, connect. When I connect to the website, it's going to give me the opportunity to make a swap. So here I'm on Matic on my MetaMask, and it shows me how much I have, and it shows me how much I can swap. So I say, hey, I want to spend 1.01 Matic, and I want to get USD for it. It says it's not available currently. Let's go to Uniswap. Uniswap is the most popular decentralized exchange on Ethereum. on and also on several other chains. So here's my streaming wallet. I will connect there. Here I am on Polygon. It gives me an option of which chain I want to use. Here's my Matic. It's showing me 0.09, and I want to get some USDC. So as I mentioned before, USDT is a stable coin, always pegged to $1. So is USDC, so is DAI. These are all stable coins pegged to $1. So basically, if you don't want to be in the market, you can hold your money as USDC, USDT, or DAI, and it's equivalent to US dollars. And that way you can sit on the sidelines while price goes down and look for a good buying opportunity. So I click in the amount, I click swap. Oftentimes it will ask you to make an approval to access your USDC or whatever, and so you can edit that permission. I'll show you. So I'm trading 0.01 Matic for a little bit of US dollars. It says gas. So basically every transaction you make is going to use a small amount of your coin in order to facilitate the transaction. And depending on how many people are using the blockchain at any given moment, it can cost more or less, which becomes relevant when you're talking about, for instance, Ethereum, because Ethereum, when it was trading at $4,500 per ETH, if it's asking you for 0.01 of an ETH in order to do a swap or whatever, well, 0.01 of Matic, which is trading at 80 cents right now, is 0.8 cents, right? But 0.01 of ETH when it was trading at $4,500 is $45. And that's not what crypto is about. We're here to save ourselves from paying lots of bank fees in order to move our funds around, etc. Anyway, submit my transaction, add USDC to my wallet. As soon as it confirms, it's pending here. Confirmed. And there it is. 0.847 of a penny. Hooray, I'm so wealthy. So there we have it. Made a swap on Uniswap on the Polygon chain. Then I can go into a liquidity pool. I can provide liquidity and earn fees on my coins. Passive income right there, which is not much if you're only using 0.8 of a penny, but if you have thousands of dollars, you can be earning steady passive income just by providing liquidity here. Let's say I wanted to add to the Matic USDC pair. I can go to info.uniswap.org and I can get information about what's going on the chain. Let's go onto the Polygon chain and there it is, Matic USDC. It gives me information. Here's the volume. Look, there's the volume. And we can also see where the liquidity is at. So there's liquidity providing opportunities. So basically these are at the different prices. This is the current price. You can see where the liquidity is being provided. So you can actually see if there's big buys or sells, it's going to push this one way or the other. And if you're providing liquidity in a range, you actually can earn fees on every transaction that's made. So this is where passive income can come in. If you have a large portfolio, let's say you're providing $100,000 worth of liquidity, and through the fees you can make on the range of 1% per day. So if you're providing 100K in liquidity and you're making 1K a day, that's $1,000 a day of passive income doing nothing. And that's theoretically in a bear market. What about a bull market? Not only are you making 1% per day, but your coins are all going up every day as well in value. So just things get bonkers, and this is the thing, like the risk reward ratio in crypto there's a lot of volatility, but it's there. And if you're in the right place when things start going up, like it's out of control. For example, let's pull up the Hex chart. Hex has one of the best charts in the history of assets. it went from this low here, November of 2020, to the high, 301 days, less than a year. It did 22,461%, 224x. So if you put in $1,000, it would have turned into $224,000 in less than 1 year. This is reality. This is the fact of what happened, and a lot of people did catch this. You know, those people who were early investors in Hex, holy cow! I mean, it did from the low to the high. It did 9,800x. Every dollar turned into $9,800. Um, it's crazy. $100 turned into almost $1 million if you hit the low and if you bought the low and sold the high. Now, you know, the majority of gains are going to be made in between those places. So very few people hit buy the lows and sell the highs. But look at this. You know, at this range here, where it was kind of basing out and kind of like deciding what it wants to do. This is on the weekly chart. You know, that's about 3 months here where you had an opportunity to get a good price here on Hex. Let's say you bought this breakout candle right here, and then just rode it up until it crossed down below these moving averages on the way down, somewhere around here. That's 2,736%. That's a 27x in 210 days, just over 6 months. You can get 27x on your money. If you put in $1,000, it would turn into 27 grand in a little over 6 months, and that's just riding the moving averages here. You know, now obviously we're on a downtrend. We're below the moving averages. This means short. This means the price is likely to go down. But when we do see it up above the 50 here and up above these here, and we start getting that structure again, there's going to be really good opportunity. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, you know, and there's a lot of mistakes that can be made. And you know, I've made a number of mistakes. I'm very happy with my positions now, especially as I've been getting better prices coming in here. And I'm using Hex as an example because it was a great performer, and because it corresponds to first principles of crypto. You know, self custody of your assets, trustless yield, eliminating counterparty risk, or minimizing counterparty risk. These sort of things. But we see this throughout different assets. I mean, I can pull up the Bitcoin chart, and like, you know, Bitcoin's one of the best performing assets of all time. It went from 1 penny to $69,000. So anyway, I mean, the reason I'm sharing this is because I'm excited about the opportunity, and I want to make sure that all my friends have an opportunity to be part of it. And you know, over the course of these next 6 months or so, somewhere in this range here, right up to this point of control, right around 10,000 Bitcoin, $10,000, somewhere in here is likely to be a bottom. And when that bottom hits and we start moving up again, we're likely to see some of those type of opportunities where if you put $1 in the right place, it could come back as $10,000 in a matter of a year or two. And these are the types of gains that we've seen in crypto, and I want to make sure that all my friends are positioned for that, for the sort of thing where, you know, they can turn $1 into 10,000 or $100 into a million, because I know how much that would change a lot of the lives for a lot of my friends and whatnot. And you know, it's a risk reward thing, and you know, honestly, like the smart thing in my mind is physical assets that you can hold in your own possession. And right now, I see physical silver as being the best choice, and I see cryptos as being the future. Good thing to get into and learn about, because even if you don't get into the market now, because we're riding a strong downtrend. Like, there's no real reason to get into the market until we start getting above some of these moving averages and show an indication that we want to go back up again. But being prepared that somewhere over the next 6 months to a year, we're likely to hit a bottom, and we're likely to get some generational buying opportunities. And you know, I want to turn all my friends into wealthy ass hippies so that we can sit in the mountains and play guitar in the sunshine all day forever and have beautiful families and grow amazing gardens and stuff like that. I think that opportunity is likely to present itself. And I want for, if you're listening to this, I want for you to be there with me when that happens. And I want for you to do it yourself for you as I'm doing it for me so that we can share the abundance together. I want you to be able to get this win for yourself and say, I did it. I made the choice. I put my own money in and turned it into something that made a difference for me for the better. Um, you know, I hope to generate the type of abundance where I can, you know, buy my friends whatever they want and we can, you know, do awesome stuff together. But I want you to have that win for yourself. I want you to earn your own financial freedom forever. Pay off your house, pay off your car, pay off your debt, and earn it forever. So that's why I'm sharing this. I think that opportunity is there, and I think it's cool. I think it's exciting, and there's a lot to learn. Um, so it's fun. We're gonna continue this adventure together, and I hope that was a good learning opportunity. I hope I haven't overshared or that I haven't have gone the appropriate amount of insight and analysis. You know, for my people that are excited about this, hit me up on Telegram, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I've just started using Twitter like in the last year uh, because this is where a lot of stuff happens in crypto. You just get a lot of alpha about like what's moving, what's happening, etc., etc. This is my Twitter at Nico Trades Loot. Dumb name, but it is what it is. I have 68 followers now. I can't quit now. um, you can connect with me on my Instagram, Nico the Dreamer, and we can continue this conversation any old time. I'm very pleased to have it and to share. Um, Check out this layer 3 website. It's really cool. It's a really good place. Like you can get your MetaMask going. Um, you can buy this wire here I've used with a credit card. You can buy crypto directly from the MetaMask. You know, there's a fee. Unfortunately, onboarding just uh, has some fees attached to it. I think you know I pay like $35 for a credit card transaction, and you can put like $1,000 at a time onto your wallet that way. So it's a good way to start. But honestly, like you know, a really good place to start, just so to minimize your risk of like doing something dumb or getting scammed or whatever, is you know 50. You know, put like $50 on. You know, and you can put it onto, for instance, Optimism, which is an Ethereum L2, or Arbitrum. And these have low fees, and you can bridge back and forth between them. You can bridge over to Polygon. Phantom is a very nice chain. And these have low fees to where you can do transactions for a couple pennies or sometimes even less than a penny. And you can just do these bounties and kind of learn how to use a MetaMask, learn how to make approvals, and just in a low risk environment where, you know, worst case scenario, you lose $50 or whatever. To the point where when you get comfortable and when you get comfortable interacting with these dApps and knowing what they do and kind of learning the ecosystem a little bit more, then you can go onto the Ethereum main chain and get some ETH, which is a great coin to hold because it's useful all over the ecosystem, and then get a little bit deeper. It's real nice to have, you know, one kind of fuck around web wallet where you can just play around and learn things. And then if you're going to make a more significant investment to get an actual hardware wallet, a Ledger or a Trezor, you can buy it directly from their website. You never want to buy a secondhand hardware wallet. And you can click Connect Hardware Wallet right here, and you can import your hardware wallet so you can interface with MetaMask directly from your hardware wallet. So you have an added layer of security. for your larger investments, but you can still use MetaMask, etc. So that's a real nice place to be. Another thing you can do, this is actually probably the best thing that you can do for learning, is go to pulsechain.com. This is a chain that's being released basically in the Richard Hart ecosystem. He's the inventor of Hex, which is going to be in Ethereum and EVM chain, in EVM in Ethereum fork, basically. So all of your ERC20 Ethereum coins will be accessible on it. And right now, the Pulse Chain testnet is live, so you can go on there and do test Pulse, which is free and there's no risk. Basically, you can fuck around with it as much as you want, and it's a really good way to learn how to use these resources. So come on, MetaMask is giving me a hard time. If you download MetaMask and you're not seeing the chains that I'm mentioning here, you can go over here to chainlist.org, and it gives you the information you need to add these chains onto your MetaMask. You just connect your wallet. And it'll give you the option to add the chain directly to your MetaMask. So that chainlist.org is very useful. Or you can do it manually. Come on, MetaMask. I'll show you in a moment. It's being finicky right now. You can into that drop-down menu where all the different chains were, you can choose Add Network, and then you can input this information, and it'll put that chain directly into your MetaMask, and it'll be ready to use. And when you do that, you'll select the Pulse Chain testnet, and you click Faucet. See, this is why I can't stream. My computer is chugging too much even from recording this video. In any case, so here's the drop down. See, here's Add Network. It'll let me add a new network. Pulse Chain Testnet v2. Here it is. I've already got some test pulse in here, but I'm gonna get some more. So I'll copy. It did it automatically, but just copy paste, request, boom, and it's gonna put 10 TPLS into my wallet. There it goes. So now I have this test pulse. I can go back to pulsechain.com. It'll show me the block explorer, which basically shows me all the information about what the chain is doing. I can type my wallet address in there. And every blockchain is going to have a block explorer. So the common one is etherscan.io for Ethereum chains. So here's my address. It shows the pulse. It's showing the 14, so it didn't update quite yet, that 10 that I just received. Here it is, the 10. It's showing it as pending here. Show any token transfers I made. It'll show my transactions, etc. So the thing about the blockchain is that it's a public immutable ledger. So if someone has your address, which is known as being doxed, they can type in your address and they can see what coins you have. Now, unless they have a way to tie it to your real life identity, then that's really nothing to worry about. But if they do, then they can know everything that's in your wallet. So this is where privacy becomes more of a concern. That can be something I talk about in future videos. But anyway, the Block Explorer, you can learn a lot about what's happening on the blockchain. You can actually see it in real time. You can find out who the whales wallets are, who has the largest amount. And in fact, if you're, like, this is called chain analysis. If you become good at chain analysis, you can say, hey, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, just dumped $50 million worth of ETH, and the price is going down. Maybe it's a good time for me to also sell. In fact, if you're good enough at it, you can pinpoint the exact sale that causes the top or the bottom of a market. Like these things happen because of market sells and buys and such like that. They move the price around, and so you can actually watch it happen in real time if you know where to look. Staking, bridge. So I'm going to show you pulsex.com, which is basically the exchange for Pulse Chain. And here we are still on the Pulse Chain testnet. You see my 24 Pulse here. And let's say I want to trade 5 of them for 31.6 PulseX. Same thing as what I showed in Uniswap. Make that swap. Pulls up my MetaMask. Shows me the gas. Confirm. Add PulseX to my MetaMask. Confirm transaction. There it goes, it updates. Add the token. Boom, boom, boom. I can add liquidity. Give me permission to access your PLP. So sometimes when you try to do a swap or something, it'll ask for your permission to access the coin, and you can edit this permission. Oftentimes it'll give itself an unlimited amount of your coin to use, but you can actually use a custom spend limit and say no, just one or whatever. It's not necessary. We don't have to do that right now. But anyway, so this is the testnet exchange. It's a Uniswap fork, and you can play around on this with free money to your heart's delight and enjoy. Let's do one more swap. I'll swap into a little bit of hex. So then on this testnet, you can just mess around and do whatever you like. And so now that I swapped into a little bit of hex, I can go to hex.com on the Pulse Chain testnet, and I can stake my little bit of hex. Anyway, the thing about hex that is exciting is that it's trustless yield on the blockchain. So basically the way it works is I can take my small amount of hex, I can stake it for as long or as short as I want. I don't have to stake it if I don't want to. I can just keep it liquid and trade it as much as I like. But then you get yield for staking it. So I'll take my small amount of hex, maybe not all of it, but maybe 0.03 of a hex, and stake it. And so now, not only do I benefit from the price appreciation, which as I showed you, like hex did a 9800x, but I also am earning yield while I do, up to 38% APY. And it's trustless yield too. I'm not getting yield by giving someone my Bitcoin and expecting them to give it back to me. I'm earning it by locking it into a smart contract. It remains in my wallet, and then when the term is served, when these 30 days are expired, then I can end my stake and I can claim the yield. And I actually mint it myself, so I'm not actually earning anything off of the work of others, so thus it passes the Howey test and it's not considered a security. So this is the cool thing about Hex, it's kind of a savings account. And I can create a staking ladder as well. So I just stake for 30 days, so this 0.03 will come back in a month. And I can stake the rest of it for 60 days. And I can do 60 days. And I can do this as much as I like. So, you know, the people who got into Hex early and did it originally, they might have a stake coming out every 30 days for the next 10 years or whatnot. And so they're basically getting paid out off their initial investment once a month. And, you know, for an asset that did a 9800X, that's cash, you know. So anyway, there's other protocols that are modeling this sort of thing, and this is all decentralized finance. Is kind of learning how to hold your own keys, learning how to stake things, how to provide liquidity, how to earn trustless yield, so that you can have passive income. You know, if your asset did, you know, a 10,000x, you know, really, and you're able to earn passive income on that, we're talking about life changing wealth. We're talking about the possibility to retire, generational wealth, that sort of stuff. Now, we're also talking about possibilities. You know, no, you know, there's a risk reward to every proposition, etc. But I'm just talking about the facts of what has happened. Hex did a 9800x. Bitcoin did a 69,000. No wait, a 69 million x. No wait, a 6.9 million x. It went from 1 cent to $69,000. So these are things that happen in crypto. This is why the opportunity is so amazing. And also keep in mind, Hex has barely 100,000 stakers, right? And it managed to do those type of returns off of what it did. Bitcoin is barely 10 years old. You know, compared to the internet. You know, what could this stuff look like in another 10 or 20 years? The opportunity is crazy. You know, people are just getting warmed up. Like, you know, probably less than 1% of the global population is even using cryptocurrency at this point. So much room to grow. The crypto market cap here, the total market cap. Total market cap is 880 billion. When you compare that to, you know, the traditional finance markets, you know, we're talking about tens or hundreds of trillions of dollars. So much room to grow. It's just about getting in at a good entry, really knowing what you're investing in, doing your own research, asking lots of questions, understanding security and safety and these sort of things. It's a lot to take in, but believe me, the money is made on these things by being early. I look at, oh my goodness, I look at the opportunities I could have had if I would have gotten in. So this was this year, 2014 to 16, was the area where I was like really grinding a lot and saving a lot of money. And then right around here, September of 16, I left to Europe and I traveled for a couple years. You know, but I had some money saved up at that time. I very easily could have thrown some into crypto just before I left and just forgotten about it at that time. And so anyway, that opportunity passed me up. I'm not going to be salty about it, but the intention is to take advantage of future opportunities. So anyway, in future videos, I'm going to go into more specific aspects of it, but I probably won't do this broad overview anymore. I will be very pleased to receive some input in the comments about what you enjoy and what you appreciate, what you would like to see me go into more. This is my space for you to learn about something that I'm excited about that can provide freedom for our people. You know, and this transfer of wealth that we're seeing, that we're just at the precipice of, is, I think, going to be so glorious and going to be one of the most beautiful things that we've ever seen. People that are used, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. People that are used to having nothing. You know, I think it's really cool. You know, all these greedy bankers and whatnot, they've always wanted to own it all and to have all of the money, and they're going to end up with all of the Federal Reserve notes, right? But the Federal Reserve notes are going to be worth nothing, and what's going to replace them is going to be digital assets and you know, physical assets like, you know, real estate, land, silver, gold, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see how it plays out, but that's the vision that I have, and I think this wealth transfer, we're going to see a lot of people that are used to having nothing that really come into a great opportunity. You know, there is such a thing as sudden wealth syndrome, and we can manifest it, and the abundance is there. And I just really, really look forward to growing through this with you guys. And you know, I feel it every time I put in a good workout in the morning. I get my energy going and my vibration high, and I can feel my manifestation power, leveling up. I feel the abundance that I'm generating, and it's just a matter of keeping that vibe high, keeping the vision strong, and manifesting that abundance and carrying the belief. So I want us all to be just unbelievably wealthy together so that we have our time to ourselves and we can choose what we want to do so that we can sit around the campfire and play music all day long and sing songs and howl at the moon and dance and sing and play forever. Um, so we're at a game-changing moment in human history in our access to abundance as Babylon crumbles and as we uh, come into knowing our true self and our divine potential. So that's what this is all about. That's why it's so exciting to me. Um, you know, it's just so good and so wonderful. So I want to bring it back in with that is that, listen, like the whole purpose is to make the world a better place. It's about love and light. It's about manifesting heaven on earth. It's about treating each other with kindness and compassion and helping us each to reach our potential and um, to bring our dreams into reality. And that's what this is all about. So I love you all very much. And that's the purpose of this message. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, share, do all those things. I put a donation address down in the comments for the show. If you want to pop a donation my way, I'll put it into my streaming. That's the address to my streaming wallet, and we can continue to do shenanigans, and we can like actually build bag together on the show, and it'll be a cool thing that we can follow week to week. In addition, like all of these things that I'm providing here, I'm also wishing to offer to the world on an individual basis. If people want consultations about sovereignty, about correcting your status, about mysticism, tarot, psychedelics, any of that stuff, about crypto and financial literacy, I'm willing to do one-on-one consultations as well in the right circumstances. So I just want to offer that to the world. I love doing the good stuff. Um, I love good. I just love good. So it is what it is. And I guess we'll just finish with the quote that I'm unlock. We'll just finish with the quote on my desktop here. Don't go looking for your path. Prepare yourself vibrationally so it appears beneath your feet. And it's such a beautiful image here and wonderful to look at. So having said that, I'll have more content for you next week. And one more step on the path. Another day above ground. Winning streak continues. Love you very much. Peace and love. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll catch you next time.